What is up, guys? So there were a couple new trailers released for the upcoming Arrowverse crossover Crisis on Infinite Earths. 5 different trailers, one for The Flash, one for Legends of Tomorrow, one for Supergirl, one for Batwoman, and one for Black Lightning. None for Arrow, which is weird because Black Lightning doesn't have an episode while Arrow does. But even still, we have 5 very short trailers, but trailers nonetheless, to break down in this video. I'll go trailer by trailer. I'll show each trailer individually in between when I talk about them. So let's start with the trailer for The Flash, and after I talk about all the trailers, there are also images from the first part of the crossover to talk about as well.
He sent you here to get me, because the crisis is here. I will be running home to you.
Now, one thing that all of these trailers have in common is Harbinger. Lila Michaels, who was Harbinger in the comics, was the character who brought all the main heroes for Crisis on Infinite Earths together, and while Lila Michaels has had a very drastically different role in the Arrowverse until this point, for the Crisis, they're changing her up, making it so that she was with the Monitor either this entire time, or at least for a while now. It will be revealed soon in Arrow Season 8, but she has the power she had in the comics, she has the costume, and she has the role. And that role is recruiting the heroes for the Crisis. The first one we see in the first trailer is Harbinger recruiting the Flash. Now, the actual first shot of the trailer, right before we see Harbinger recruiting the Flash, is of Barry running on a treadmill. That this is the Cosmic Treadmill, which is a treadmill in the show, which is able to keep up with speedsters. However, in the comics, the Cosmic Treadmill is something else entirely. It's a treadmill that allows speedsters to time travel. Specifically in Crisis on Infinite Earths, however, the treadmill was used to give these platforms enough energy to transport a lot, like a whole army of superheroes to the dawn of time, which is when the big final, maybe not like last battle against the Anti-Monitor, but the big climactic fight against the Anti-Monitor took place, and that's when all of the universes combined, so that whichever character was actually in the Dawn of Time survived the combination of their universes. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that not only are they hinting at the Cosmic Treadmill having a role in this crossover, but it's the first shot we see of this trailer for The Flash, and I think that will mean something for this crossover, and I think we're probably going to be seeing the Dawn of Time in this crossover as well. So getting back to Harbinger recruiting the Flash, Barry says, "He sent you here to get me because the crisis has begun," and Harbinger replies with a nod, confirming that it has indeed begun. This is, I think, it's going to be a really cool scene, because not only is Barry, he knows he needs to die, so this crisis coming so imminently, it's his impending death as well, but also how Lila, somebody he's known for a while, worked with on, not numerous, but a couple occasions, has been working with the Monitor this entire time. It's going to be a crazy reveal for Barry. Something that Team Flash also doesn't know is about the destruction of Earth 2, which apparently they're going to learn during the crisis, because, I mean, Team Flash and Team Arrow don't really communicate on a weekly basis, even in this crisis level event at this point, but they will during the crisis, and that's when Team Flash will learn about the destruction of Earth 2, and with it, the death of probably Jesse Quick and Harry Wells, people that they were fairly close with. So this is a shot of Green Arrow, also Mia Smoke version of Green Arrow, Batwoman, and Atom running at something. This is going to be, I don't think in part 1, but it's definitely going to be a part of some sort of big battle in the crossover, but that's going to be one team. Apparently in the crossover, it's going to be a lot more like Infinity War than an Endgame, as it wasn't all the now Justice League together. It was like in a couple different teams. Unlike Endgame, it doesn't seem like they're ever going to fully get back together, or at least not everybody, but in this crossover, the reason Green Arrow and Mia Smoke and Batwoman and Atom are there, but Supergirl and the Flash and Superman aren't, is because they are going to be a part of 2 different teams, at least at some different points. So this is a scene of Barry and Iris talking, and Barry says, "I'm gonna come running home to you." This is obviously a reference to Season 3, the duet episode, where Barry had that song for Iris, "Running Home to You," and he's talking about this because he thinks, Iris thinks, and everyone thinks that he is going to die. He probably won't, because his TV show is going on after this, so as an audience we know that he probably won't be dying, but if, like, in real life, or for these people, they don't know that, so I definitely think that this is going to be a pretty emotional time for Team Flash. But then there's also a very interesting shot of a different speedster potentially dying, and that's the Earth 90 version of the Flash, John Wesley Shipp's Barry Allen. Now, this is the final shot of the trailer, so it definitely means something, but also it's right after Barry says, "I'll come running home to you," which is definitely like a reference to Duet, but it's a reference to him the fact that he's about to die. To cut from that to showing the disintegrated costume of the Earth 90 version of Barry Allen's Flash. It's like his entire costume is completely destroyed, except for the logo part, which is not dissimilar to how the costume was very much damaged during Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, the Monitor did say that a Flash needs to die, but he never specified the Earth 1 version of the Flash, so it's possible that instead of the Earth 1 version of the Flash, the Grant Gustin version, it will be John Wesley Shipp's Flash, who was technically the original live-action Barry Allen, like the first live-action Barry Allen ever, which means that the Crisis has been set up for a lot longer than we ever thought. I mean, it wasn't set up during the Flash Season 1 in the 1990s, but it's definitely paying that season and that universe off, so this shot may be a huge spoiler to the fact that Barry Allen from Earth 90 will be dying in this crossover. However, I don't think that it gives such a huge thing away in the trailer. I think that this destruction of this costume is maybe something different.
Batwoman, there is no more time. The multiverse is in great danger.
I'm sorry, the what? I'm fighting to make things right.
So then there's the Batwoman trailer, a trailer that there isn't really much to talk about. The trailer does start with a shot of the Batsuit, but not the Batwoman suit, the Batman suit, as it shows the same costume, but there's no wig. It's clearly the original Batsuit, even though in the Arrowverse, it seems like Batwoman suit is Batman suit, but changed to fit a woman, not a completely new suit, which is why the Batman suit shouldn't technically exist. What this might be, considering you could see like there's spider webs on the costume, is not the Batcave as we saw so far, but the actual Batcave in Wayne Manor. It's possible that Bruce Wayne is there at this point, the Kevin Conroy version of Bruce Wayne, which might be from Earth 1, might be from a different universe. We can't really say at this point, but I think there's a theory to say that in the Crisis at some point, we're going to be visiting the Batcave under Wayne Manor, and this costume is where we see that. There are spider webs because it's been abandoned. The costume hasn't been touched in a very long time, but it will show all of this, revealing that that is where Kevin Conroy's version of Bruce Wayne has been this entire time. But either way, I think that is definitely the most interesting thing to talk about from this trailer, because the only other thing is we see Harbinger recruit Batwoman, which is, it's just Harbinger recruiting somebody, but there's something interesting here, which is that Batwoman has never heard of the multiverse. So Harbinger goes to recruit Batwoman and says that the multiverse is in danger, and Batwoman's reaction is she's never heard of the multiverse. I'm sure she's heard of the concept, but she doesn't know that it actually exists, which makes me wonder. It makes me realize how much of a beginner she is. She's only been a hero for, like, at this point it would be like a year, but still, it's a kind of a beginner to be a hero. And also the fact that she's never been to the multiverse or never been to another universe, never even heard of it, doesn't even know that it exists, is why I think that in this crossover, out of all the characters to like go through the lens of all of the things being crazy, they should be through Batwoman, because Green Arrow, the Flash, Supergirl, and the Legends, and all the other characters that we know of have all been to all of these things. They've all been to other universes, have at least heard of the multiverse. Even time travel isn't new to any of them, but for Batwoman, it's all new. So I think through Batwoman, they're probably going to she's going to have all these reactions to all of these crazy things, because to everybody else, it's not really as crazy, but to her, it definitely is. So what I said earlier about Wayne Manor and the Batcave is, I think, supported by another shot. In this shot, Kate, along with another person, I think it's maybe Luke Fox or somebody else, maybe even Harbinger herself, are walking through some vines, and they go to what looks like to be a mansion. This is most likely Wayne Manor, a house that has been completely abandoned, probably because either Alfred's dead or he's just gone, and Bruce Wayne obviously has been gone for a while at this point. But I think that Harbinger and the Monitor through Harbinger probably told Kate where Batman is because they need his help for the upcoming crisis, and this is for Kate's first mission for the crisis to go get Bruce Wayne, go get Batman, bring him back in the game, and have him help out, and that version of Batman will be played by Kevin Conroy, which I think he's a little bit old to play this version of Batman. I made a timeline for Batman, and as it turns out, Batman would be like 45 years old at the most. Kevin Conroy is over 60, so as like an actor, that wouldn't really fit, but I guess technically he can be 60 years old, and this version of Batman is, I guess, a lot older than most, but all things considered, that may be what is happening in this clip, and a lot earlier when we saw the Batsuit.
Who the hell are you people?
We need your help stopping this antimatter wave.
You just told me my world is over, and you need my help. No one else has to die.
So then there's the Black Lightning trailer, which again, it's weird that he's getting a trailer because he doesn't have an episode while Arrow does, but this is effectively replacing what Arrow's trailer would be. But anyway, in this trailer, we see Black Lightning getting recruited. It seems like his universe might be gone, which is so much different than what I expected. Black Lightning has his own TV show, has his whole cast of characters, and it doesn't seem like based off this shot, any of them survived the supposed destruction of his universe, which would be so weird going forward for his TV show. I do think his universe is probably not completely gone because I do think that it would make the most sense for Earth 138 and Black Lightning and maybe 2 other universes to all be combined, because Black Lightning, like I said, is a TV show that is going forward for his universe to be destroyed with him the only survivor on the new Earth. His TV show would be just very different and very, very weird, like compared. I haven't seen Black Lightning in a while, but I do think that it wouldn't make any sense for that to happen, so I do think that what's going on here is not necessarily his destruction, his Earth is completely destroyed, but it might be something different. But considering Pariah's in this shot, the shot where he is being recruited, it means that I don't think Black Lightning will actually appear in this crossover until episode maybe 2 or 3. One thing we see in the Black Lightning trailer while he's being recruited by the Flash and all of these other people is that in the background we see Killer Frost and Vibe. Now we do know based off the Flash season 6 episode 2 when Barry saw the future that Vibe would actually either get his powers back or just be Vibe again, but now we're seeing that actually in a trailer as Cisco Ramon is wearing his Vibe costume, which means he'll probably get his powers back like very, very late into the first volume of season 6, like episode 7, or maybe even 8, or maybe he's from another universe, or maybe he doesn't have his powers, he's just wearing his costume. I don't honestly know what's going on here, but I do think, or at least I hope, he gets his powers back. In the Black Lightning trailer, we see Black Lightning teaming up with a whole bunch of heroes for the first time, like Pariah, the Flash, Vibe, and Killer Frost, like also Heatwave, and even the Earth 90 version of the Flash, which, by the way, these trailers do confirm that the Monitor did not destroy Earth 90 during the Elseworlds crossover, and when he snapped this version of Barry Allen away during the second part, he just snapped him back to his own universe, which was completely intact.
Come with me. I need your help to avert a crisis that threatens the entire multiverse.
Welcome to the Joy Zone.
So, honestly, for the Legends of Tomorrow trailer, there's nothing to talk about at all. Like, it reveals nothing. It shows the Harbinger recruiting Sarah and Ray, and through them, the rest of the Legends. Honestly, the only ones we could see are in the crossover at all, at least having a big role, are Sarah, Ray, and Mick. The rest seem to at least have a very, very small role, or, I mean, at the most, have a very small role, but there's literally nothing else to talk about for the Legends of Tomorrow trailer. However, there definitely is for Supergirl.
There's a wave of antimatter destroying everything in its path until it obliterates all reality. We can beat this together.
The Supergirl trailer starts with, I think, a pretty awesome shot, a recreation of a very famous comic book panel or cover. This is a panel from The Death of Superman, or actually the cover of The Death of Superman, which is a storyline where Doomsday shows up, Superman fights him along with the rest of the Justice League, but in the end, Superman and Doomsday kill each other. It is definitely a very famous Superman story, so I doubt there are many people that I just explained a new story to, especially since it's been done to death in, like, the Batman vs. Superman and 2 different animated movies, but this is a very, very iconic shot of Superman's cape blowing in the wind as it's hung up on a stick. But the question is now, which Superman does this cape belong to, and which Superman will die? Now, in the crossover, there will be 3 Superman: the Tyler Hoechlin version, the Brandon Routh version, and the Tom Welling version. The Tom Welling version doesn't seem to be having a very large role, while the other 2 definitely will be. And also, I do not think Tom Welling will be wearing a Superman costume because, I mean, he's never done it in the past, other than, like, in, like, 2 shots during Smallville. He had, like, a strict rule against wearing costumes on that show, so I don't think he's going to be wearing a costume here. And also, even if he did, I doubt it would have the yellow House of L logo, which is also why the Tyler Hoechlin version of Superman can't be his cape, not only because he has a TV show coming up, which means that he can't be dying, but also he doesn't have this logo at the back of his cape. And while I don't know if Brandon Routh's version does, because we've never seen the back of his cape, the new cape that he has, he didn't have it in Superman Returns, and he didn't have it in, actually no, he did have it in Superman 1 and 2, so it's very possible that they're bringing it back for his new costume, and maybe this is his cape, and maybe, while it's not going to be Doomsday that kills him, it's very possible that Brandon Routh's version of Superman will be dying in the crossover, which is maybe confirmed through this shot, but it's also possible that this is just a different universe. This is a universe where Superman died, or maybe the entire planet died. Maybe that's the green tinted universe that we're seeing quite a lot in this trailer, in these trailers, and this is a universe where Superman, along with the rest of the heroes, were killed. Either way, this is, I think, a very cool looking shot. Throughout all of the first 4 trailers, we've been seeing a shot of some universe being destroyed. We couldn't really make out which universe that was, but in the Supergirl trailer, we see that it is Earth 73, or at least Earth 73 is a universe we're going to see on this screen. Earth 73 is not a previously established Arrowverse universe, nor has it ever been mentioned. However, it is being destroyed in this crossover. So Harbinger recruits all these heroes. In these trailers, we've seen her recruit the Flash, Batwoman, the Atom, and the White Canary, as well as now we see Supergirl. But it seems like she's bringing all these characters to Earth 38 for some reason. Maybe it's just because she's recruiting Supergirl and Superman. Maybe specifically Superman and Lois Lane are the last people she's recruiting. But for some reason, she's talking to all these people and giving these people information, including the Earth 1 characters. At least we can see Green Arrow, Mia Smoke, and Batwoman, but I'm guessing the Flash and maybe even White Canary and the Ray are there as well. But for some reason, I don't know why, Harbinger specifically brought them to Earth 38 and also to the DEO to tell them everything they need to know about what's coming. So those are the trailers for Crisis on Infinite Earths. So far there's been 6 trailers, they're all like 15 seconds long, but in this one with 5 different trailers all coming together, there's definitely a lot to talk about. However, there is more to talk about in the promotional images for Supergirl Season 5 Episode 9 titled Crisis on Infinite Earths Hour 1. In these images, it doesn't really reveal much that isn't revealed already in the trailer, so there isn't really much to talk about. All I really want to say is that in this image right here with Supergirl and with Superman and the Flash, it looks really cool. I mean, the only time Superman and the Flash ever teamed up was, 1, when he was Oliver Queen, and secondly, when Flash was wearing his Season 5 costume, so it's really cool to see Superman with a Flash who's wearing an actual good costume. Also, the shot of Superman and Green Arrow talking to each other, which is something that I'm really excited to see, because while they did interact a little in Elseworlds, I really want to see them interact a lot more. And the only other image I want to talk about involves Superman, which I just realized all 3 of the images that I wanted to talk about do. The image shows Clark, Lois, and their child probably on Argo, since they went to Argo for Lois to give birth to him, because if she gave birth to a Kryptonian on Earth, it would probably kill her. But so they went to Argo to give birth to the child, but they also said they're going to stay there, so I'm guessing now 3 months after he was born or she was born, but let's be honest, it's almost definitely going to be a he. They're still living on Argo. Now, the reason I say this is almost definitely going to be a he is because while Superman and Lois have been a couple for a very long time, and in a couple different continuities, they've had other, different children of different genders. Really, the only popular one is the latest one, John Kent, from 2015, or he debuted in 2015, and now he's Superboy, and also he's a member of the Legion of Superheroes now, but he's definitely a very popular character at this point, and this is, while it's not confirmed, almost definitely going to be that same character. Not only that, but the upcoming Superman and Lois TV show will be focusing on Superman or Clark and Lois raising their child, who's definitely going to be John Kent. So anyway, that is it for this breakdown of the 5 trailers and a couple different images for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Let me know your thoughts on everything I talked about in this video, and if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.